Hey, Phantomaniacs, it's Monday, and you know what that means. A whole week, actually a week plus, of AEW reviews are ahead. I have the entire set of Series 9 Unrivaled, and I'm very excited about it because these are all people that are, well, most of them are people who've never had figures before, but they are all new to AEW's action figure line. This is a very, very exciting wave. Some of my favorites are in this wave, and we're starting strong today with Powerhouse Hobbs. This guy has been a standout of AEW since I got into it, and I wasn't on board with AEW at first, but then I sort of got it because it is so different from WWE. And I'm not saying WWE is like super great or anything, but it just took me a while to realize, like, oh, I see what AEW does. They do lots of different things, and there's something for everybody, and it's all fun. So anyway, I love AEW now, and Powerhouse Hobbs is one of the guys who really turned me on to AEW in the beginning. Big, strong, bruiser dude with a great face, and we're going to see if this figure captures his personality and his look. This look, speaking of, is from Rampage Grand Slam, September 24th, 2020 in Queens, New York. And it is his, apparently, match against CM Punk, which is awesome. I didn't realize that, so I'm wondering if the Punk that we're getting is going to be from the same event. I don't know. There are two different Punks, actually. There's a Chase and there's a regular version. But anyway, whatever the case, let's take a look at this figure. I'm just such a fan of AEW. As of this recording, Double or Nothing has not happened yet, so I don't know what the deal is going to be. I'm doing a whole bunch of unboxings on a Saturday here, so Double or Nothing is actually tomorrow night. And of course, I will find out what happens with my favorite wrestler in the world, my favorite active wrestler in the world right now, Thunder Rosa. And I'll be reviewing her figure later this week as well. All right, so this AEW packaging, I've talked about it before. It stands out. It's very eye-catching. It's a very nice-looking packaging. When you walk into the aisle, the AEW figures are one of the first things that you notice in the aisle because of that metallic foil, because of the design of the box. It's a great looking line of figures, whether it's unmatched or unrivaled. They really do jump out at you and demand that you take a look at what's there. Also got some of the stiffest plastic trays in the business. Stiffest in the business, so they should call those trays the Cardona. All right. Oh, that's interesting. So he comes with two sets of hands. Now, take a look at this. This is the first thing that jumps out at me. I've been collecting wrestling figures in one form or another for 20-something years now. And one of the things that always bothered me was when the wrist tape was just painted on. I hate painted on wrist tape. It just never looks right. It's so lazy, and I understand why it's done, but my gosh, look at that sculpted wrist tape that looks so good. And then that's interesting because he's got a set of fists with no tape, and then he's got just another set of fists, no C-grips here, no open hands at all, another set of fists that are taped up. So that's an interesting difference there. I'm just taking a look at the box real quick. And it looks like if this is... Well, this isn't even this gear. The picture on the box isn't this gear. So that's interesting. So I guess... Which I don't care. Like, it is very odd, obviously, to make mention of an event and then that's not what this is. But I've said it before when I've been reviewing wrestling figures... I kind of miss the days when the figure was just, yeah, that looks like something that Chris Jericho wore once. Cool. rather than it being this event specific thing that's so beholden to the accuracy or whatever. So you could see in that other image he had black wrist tape. Here he's got white wrist tape. Who knows? Well, I'm sure lots of people know. I don't know if Hobbs ever wears white wrist tape or not. I am here for the size of the figure and for that face. That right there to me is $1 million face. That's a dude that I want to watch crushing people Wednesdays and Fridays and Sundays. Like, I just love the look at that business demeanor right there. It's fantastic. So size wise, and actually this is something I'm going to stop for just a second here. Okay, we're back. I had kind of forgotten I intended to do this. Some comments I get are, hey, how big is this? What's the size on this? So I'm going to start showing you guys what the size is on some of these figures. I can't do comparisons on everything because I'm going to be honest with you. Action figure shelves are like a house of cards or a line of dominoes, and I'm just not going to go pull figures on and off the shelf all the time for reviews because it's just asking for trouble. I don't need that in my life, but what I will do is keep this measuring tape here so we can tell how tall figures are and build up sort of a library of, well, this is how big certain people are. So you can see Hobbs right here, 7 inches tall. So that's about, what is that? If he's a 1/10 scale figure, which wrestling lines in general are about 1/10 scale. So he's about 6 feet. I don't know if it gives his stats on here or not. No stats on here. But they'd be fake wrestling stats anyway, so who cares? But I have brought for comparison, because he was pretty easy to get to, MJF, who I think is one of the more accurately sized AEW figures if you're going for that 1/10 scale. And you can see MJF hits about 6 3/4, 6 5/8 with hair. So he's a little bit smaller than Hobbs. Certainly overall physique, he's smaller. And look at that. Is that just the way I'm holding those? As you can see, he's a smaller guy. Hobbs' shoulders are jacked up. Definitely looks bigger. And of course, thickness-wise, proportionally, Hobbs is a much bigger guy. So there's a little comparison there. I'll set Mr. MJF back off to the side. Let's take a look at the rest of Hobbs. Gear, cool looking gear. I mean, I'm sure it's something he's worn. It's that orange and black, that Team Taz color. And I've got to say, they did a pretty decent job with this ab joint here, because even if it's down like that, like, that's not distractingly bad. It covers up the bottom portion of the singlet, but like, that's fine. That doesn't bother me. On the sides, everything, it kind of moves around a little bit, but again, that's not, it is an action figure. I'm not trying to have a literal, actual little statue of Hobbs. Like, it's got the FTW on the back, and if you can see, it's got the black with the gold lines going through it. On the back, he's got the Hobbs. All nicely done. The tattoos are a little dark, maybe, or a little thick. Like, they didn't quite get the right opacity for this to look like actual tattoos. It kind of has that Sharpie look that I'm not a fan of. But the detail is nice. Looks good. Skin color, I like that we've gotten some different skin tones in the AEW line. There's not just like black guy color, which some action figure lines seem to sort of do. I feel like Jazwares is kind of looking at actual skin tones and trying to be reflective of what people actually look like. Yeah, man, look at those boots too. Oh my gosh, look! Willpower. I've never even noticed that that's on his boots, but I have taken note of how cool his boots look. Look at that. They got the straps. They've got the buckles. Underneath, you've got the sculpt right here of that front flap. Really nice job on that. So articulation wise, you can see I've been kind of playing with it as I've done the review. The waist joint. Look at these kind of stripes on the side here. The waist is not a cut joint, but it's kind of a weird combination of a cut joint and a ball joint. So if you turn it, it still has that kind of bad look, but you get that separation. It would have been nice if this paint had gone down below that line, because you really don't have a lot of leeway with posing there. But as far as how the actual articulation works, regardless of the design, got a pretty good range there of just the torso. It's got joints, top of the thigh swivel, double jointed knees. You can move the nice soft. I love the material that Jazwares is using for the knee pads and the elbow pads, because it moves around really easily. You can get those double jointed knees and elbows to do whatever you want them to do. The ankle, it's the modern ankle joint where you've got the pen right there, or the peg right there that goes into the foot. Really nice range on that. And then, of course, double jointed elbows. All the articulation, like, this is modern articulation. This is what we get now in action figure lines. So we also have, well, like I said, we've got taped fists, which, just like the wrists, you can see the actual sculpted detail of the tape, which is great. I wonder if these might be reused for Punk. I think it's possible. I'm fine with it if they do. And then we've got an alternate portrait of just a, whoop, I dropped him on the floor. He had a little workshop debris. Look at the way they did the fade here on his hair. Really nice job with the paint and the sculpt there. You get a little burr on the back here, but yeah, whatever. So this neutral portrait looks really awesome too, but, I mean, putting this guy on the shelf, that's the head we're going with. I mean, my gosh, what a cool, powerful, just killer dude Hobbs is. Reading interviews with him, he's getting it. He knows the business. He knows what he's doing. He's learning from all the right people. I'm just a big fan of this guy, and I think Jazwares has done a great job with his first figure. Powerhouse Hobbs, there you go. If you see him in stores, grab him. I got mine from Ringside Collectibles, because that's how you get stuff early. It's just a fact. That's what you're paying for. Powerhouse Hobbs. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like, subscribe, share. Come back tomorrow for another AEW review.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.